Coats exist. Coats exist. Anyways, oh, it's starting again. Okay. So, my ex-girlfriend almost died when we went hiking. But before we get to that, I wanted to tell you guys we're sponsored by peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Anywhere you get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, we are sponsored by them. So, every time you eat one, think of Coats exist. Coats exist. So, yeah, me and my ex-girlfriend, she got me into hiking. I wasn't really a big hiker because I hate everything, but I'm just kidding. But she got me into it, and I also read this book, Into the Wild, and it really got me thinking about life and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. So I was big into cryptids, like hunting dogman and werewolves and stuff like that. Like, I don't actually believe they exist, okay? Come on. Relax. I'm not a crazy person. But anyways, so I would make a game out of it. Like, every time we'd go hiking, I'd try to find Bigfoot and all these, Dogman and all that. But then I made a different game out of it because there was this app called All Trails, and I would try to like conquer every trail, the local trails. Like, I got it in my head that I was like, oh, I just made a game out of it. So, whereas she wanted to go and look at everything and how beautiful the world is and all that, which is great, but there's something wrong with me, I guess, because I just always had to make it into a game. Like, I'm searching for, Mothman and stuff like that. So, because he's going to be in the woods where I live. But, so we actually went to this one place called Old Rag in Virginia. And it was this mountain. We climbed up it. And it really got me, like, because a couple years ago, I wanted to climb Mount Everest. I got it in my head. I was like, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. Like, I've never done anything like that before in my life, but I'm going to climb Mount Everest. What does it take? A weekend, couple grand? But it takes about 3 months, 2 years of training, 3 months to do the actual thing, and like $80,000. So that's for rich people. And yeah, then I read this book, Into Thin Air, and I was like, oh, okay. So I don't think I'm going to do that because everybody died in the book. Well, not everybody, but yeah, so I just wanted to get into an adventure, and that was an adventure. We climbed this mountain. It was really cool. And then she got an Airbnb, and it was an Asian man who didn't speak any English when we got there, and he was there. And I always thought that Airbnbs were, you get the place to yourself, but he was there. He was downstairs cooking, and he kept bowing and saying hello to us, and it was like he was the sweetest guy, but like we wanted to leave to go out for that night, and we had to like ask his permission. It was really weird, but so yeah, then the next day we saw that band IDLES, and I pissed in the same trough as the lead singer. I was like, are you the lead singer of IDLES? He's like, oh, sure am. I was like, oh shit, I gotta take a piss. He's like, me too. And then there was like this, it was like one of those troughs where like there's no dividers and you just piss all together. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna see your dick. And he's like, oh, what's a big one? So a lot of that didn't happen. I embellished a bunch of it, but I did piss next to the lead singer of IDLES. And but yeah, if you don't know who IDLES is, look them up. They're pretty cool. They're a rockin' band. But anyways, so here to the story. So I went camping with my ex-girlfriend with her coworkers. So it was a 14-mile hike. I think we did 7 miles one day, camped overnight, and then the next day we came back, or we kept going. It was like, I forget if it was a loop, whatever, it's irrelevant. So the first day, we're hiking, and everybody there knew that I don't hike. So I was like really like gung-ho. Like I had this heavy backpack on, and it was really, really heavy, and it was a really muggy day. But I was in the lead mostly in the lead the whole trail, the whole first day, because I was booking it. I was like, I'm going to show these guys I could hike. So my ex-girlfriend, she's into plants and, stuff like that, and like figuring out what you could eat in the wild and stuff. So she found these plants called ramps, RAMPS, and they're like these white things that grow out of the ground. And she's like, you could eat these. And I was like, I don't know, I feel weird about eating something in the wild. I don't know. Like, I'll eat, fucking Snickers bar, which I have no idea what's in that shit. Words I can't even pronounce, but I'm afraid to eat stuff that I find in the wild. She's like, no, I'm telling you. So she like got out her little knife and she was like cutting little pieces off, and I ate a little piece and it tasted like an onion. I was like, it was pretty good. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna save it for later when we cook dinner. I'm gonna use them for seasoning. I was like, that's cool. So she's handing them out to everybody. Everybody's eating them. Blah 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 blah. So that night, slept in a little tent. Woke up the next day, and we continued our hike back. And on our way back, I forget, her and I were like, there's like a weird tension going on. I forget what it was, but whatever the reason was, I was like walking up ahead, and she was behind with the group, and I was ahead. And we stopped at this one place, and they found more ramps, and they're like, oh, let's eat them. So they're eating, like, these ones are huge, so they're like eating a bunch of them. And she gave me like a teeny little piece of one. I was like, I'm good. So whatever it was, like, I just walked up ahead. I was like, whatever, I don't want to. I forget what it was, like something stupid we were arguing over. So I walked up ahead. I was probably about 50 feet up ahead, and walking, and I lost them. Like, I just kept walking straight on this path, and I came to this like opening where you sit on a rock and you could see like a little bit of a. It wasn't the greatest view, but it was like a nice little view. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and wait for them. So I'm sitting there. I'm kind of like gathering myself. Then I'm sitting there and I'm like, where is everybody? I had no idea where they were. They weren't coming. Like, so I turned around. I was just watching this little opening, waiting for them to come through, waiting to hear a noise, waiting to hear anything, and I couldn't hear anything. So I was like, something's wrong. So then I ran back, and I'm running back. I'm like, where the hell are they? They're nowhere. So I'm running. So then I turn this corner, and I see the one couple, and the guy was holding his girlfriend, and she was like thrown up in the woods, and they're like walking, and she's like limping. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, just go back, keep running back. She's back there. Your girlfriend's back there. So I ran back. I had no idea what's going on. She's being held up. When I finally see her, she's being held up. She's sick. She's like, her eyes are rolling in different directions in her head, and she's like, and I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, what? I immediately said, was it the ramps? And she's like, So the guy she was with, who was holding her up, he grabbed my backpack and all of our stuff, and they all ran up ahead, and they're like, we'll come back for you, because there was a car waiting for us like 3 miles up. So I'm holding her, and we're walking, and we had no idea what's going on. She's sick. She said she was like hallucinating. She was seeing things. She said she would see like white, and then like she'd feel like she was going to fall down. So then it was like out of a movie. The last part of this trail, there was just rocks and boulders, and like I'm like going down first. I'm getting all muddy. I'm having her slide down. I'm like, come on. So we're climbing over these boulders. She's like, I can't do it. I'm like, you can do it. It was crazy. So finally, long story short, we get to the car. The other girl's in there. She's still sick. My ex-girlfriend's still sick. And we just book it to the hospital. We go to the hospital, and they took their heart rate, and their heart rate was like 20 beats per minute. It was like really, really low. They're really sick. So we're looking online, and we found that ramps look exactly like Lily of the Valley. So these girls ate Lily of the Valley, and they almost sorry, they almost passed away. But no, I don't think they were. I don't think they ate enough, but they did eat enough to be sick, and it was wild. And I'm glad for once in my life that I had some weird, like, I don't want to eat this shit, because I was hungry, and I remember like wanting to eat some, but I was like, I have a weird feeling, like, so I didn't eat them. But yeah, so that was wild. But she's alive, so that's good. And I really like hiking now, so that's a good thing that came out of it. All right, happy birthday, everybody whose birthday it is. I hope you have a good day.